Dame's 71 points. The second time we've seen a 70-piece in the NBA this season. Just wild. 38 shots. Channing, I know you were gung-ho about the efficiency. I think we could also take this another direction with Shams, but what did we just watch?
You watched literally the Houston Rockets need to be fined. Right? Like, come on. What in the fuck? Like, it is
you
atrocious.
can tank and not be disrespectful. You can like the amount of career highs that these dudes are giving up.
Richard. Let me pick it up for you because here it is right here. Hold on.
Don't tell me what to
do. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Dame
71.
Didn't play, right?
Oh, never mind. No, it is. It's oh crap. Nope, wrong one. I was trying to find the tweet. But basically, I know, fuck you, Richard. It was like, so Dame had 71. I think Luka had 60, 20 and something. Joel Embiid at 58. It was Clay. Like Clay. Like for me, it's like, this is the biggest example of no matter what kind of talent you have, none of that shit matters if your team just sucks. Like they don't try to play. They are literally out there playing like it's like willy-nilly ball. Like I can't name a pickup game where people try less. Like maybe if it's slippery outside, they would try less. And they're pros. It's not like these kids wouldn't be good somewhere else. But we should have known when Eric Gordon, who doesn't say shit about anybody, ever. They were like, hey, what kind of improvements have you seen during the year? Or have your time here? He goes, none. Nothing. There's been absolutely nothing. And I'm just like,
I was like, that felt cold.
Dame.
That felt real cold. And like Dame, I want to make sure we're clear. Dame, no one is disrespecting Dame.
No one.
Like this dude can go 60 against the best defense of all time. There's no disrespect. But damn the fucking Rockets.
I mean, it's tough to watch because you're like, it's like the All-Star game, but it's 82 games. It's like, no deal. Well, there you go. Well, there you go. And it's just like, let me just get it back so I can get some points. And it's just like, as much as this is about Dame, which is 80%, 20% of that 71 is playing literally the worst team I have ever seen since I was on the Knicks in 2005.
Oh, we're taking it back.
Oh, that's a bad team.
Knicks.
Ooh, maybe the Charlotte Bobcats are really bad.
No, they were bad. Clay just hit 12 threes on them. The game before. The game before, Clay goes for 42 and hits 12 threes. And then they give up 13 threes to Dame. We're not, and then you go and look at what they've done this season. Are we not noticing a serious trend? Like, it's disrespectful. It is. It's disrespectful to the game of basketball. You can tank without being that bad because they're literally like, it's like you're fucking up the game, right? Like Dame's going to get 71. I get it. Like Dame is special, but it's like to consistently just be a fucking pushover. Oh,
it's hard. It's
Y'all
hard.
Going in right now. Y'all going in right now.
True, because here's why. You can't have.
He's keeping quiet over
there.
Well,
no, because you can't have these guys because you're wasting years by doing what? They're not getting better. Like, that's the whole point why we're upset. You could have any young guy on that team. Any three. Sanguini is good, right? Junior is good. That's what I call him. Is good. Green is a very solid player. They have solid – Kenny Martin Jr., they have pros. And you're telling me pros aren't, like, at no point are even remotely, quote-unquote, trying? And I follow people on the Houston Rockets who, like, think it's the coach. But, like, if the players aren't held accountable to, like, play a certain way from up top, what is the coach going to do? The coach is just babysitting. Like, so stop. I just don't think that's fair. I think – they need to say, hey, at some point, we got to do something with this team. Like, we have to try a little bit to be better.
Shams, let me ask you this. And I'm so frustrated that conversation went that direction because I wanted it to be all about Dame. Because at the end of the day, I think we know what the Rockets are right now. So Damian Lillard is insane. And I still have another question about him. But first, from the Rockets' point of view, I think I saw just recently that there's a possibility, not that there's a lot of conversation going on, or maybe you know this, Shams, that James Harden could return to Houston. Like, could you see that happening?
I mean, free agency is so far down the line. I think the Rockets are one of the teams with a bunch of cap space. And when you think about the trajectory of this team, I mean, the owner was just caught. Tillman Fertitta was just caught during All-Star break talking about tanking for Wembanyama and like how he's praying for Wembanyama. So I think their intentions on the second half of the season are pretty clear, you know. And Jalen Green's out, Kevin Porter's out. You have the owner during All-Star break saying, pray for Wembanyama. So that's obviously very interesting. But I think as much as they have wanted to be in this position where you're tanking and trying to get these players, I do think there's a level of pride there that they're kind of missing on right now. And I think they themselves know that they have to be better. And that's why there's going to be a lot of pressure on that organization this summer. They're going to have $60 million plus in salary cap space this offseason. So whoever it is, James Harden, I think Kyrie Irving is going to be on the Rockets list too. That's another name that hasn't been discussed, but he's going to be on their list depending on where he goes or what happens with him. Although he seems very happy in Dallas. They seem very happy with him. Listen, I think the Rockets' options are going to be endless this summer. Jakob Poeltl, that's another guy that I've heard as well. So what do they do with all that money? This is the summer where all the pressure is going to be on them to get better, whoever that is. And obviously James Harden, Kyrie Irving, guys like that are going to be at the top of the list. And then, as far as Dame, the thing I'm most impressed by is he's 32 years old. He's averaging career high in points, in field goal, in 3-point percentage, in 3-pointers made. He's been unbelievable this year. So, points per game, he's doing everything. And I think that team needs to get him help for sure. And it sucks right now with no Anthony Simons, no Nurkic in the lineup. But you could have him in the top 5.
Can you get him help though? Like that's
no.
And this is not a disrespect to Portland. I think Portland's a great place to play, great city to live in. I got no disrespect. I've enjoyed Portland. I'm just saying I've enjoyed it. So I don't say it as like it's like Phoenix gets free agents, right? Phoenix is not like this crazy city. It's not LA, Chicago, New York, Miami, but it's like, no, Phoenix, Dallas, these are places that get free agents. Can Portland be in that same class, right? With Dame at 32, with the structure, it's just like the biggest frustrating teams for me are teams like them and Washington. Now, I know they are better than Washington and have historically been, but it's like there seems to be this weird limbo. We have an all-star top-tier player, and we can't figure it out around them, but we don't want to let go of them, and we just kind of float in this mediocrity for like 5 years.
Yeah, I don't know if a player's going to Portland on a free agent deal, but I mean, and honestly, they've tried to be aggressive in trades. They just got Jeremy Grant. They gave up a first-round pick, got him, and I think he's been a great fit. But you look at Anthony Simons, Nurkic. Do they have a real true secondary star? They had CJ McCollum there. Now they have Jeremy Grant there. I don't know, but listen, Damian Lillard. I mean, you guys know him as well. Like he's clearly shown that. Even when push comes to shove, he wants to stay in Portland. He's gonna ride it out in Portland. But if this team doesn't make it to the playoffs this year, if they miss the play-in as well, what happens with his future? He's gonna be 32 going on 33. That's an organization that's kind of gonna be at a crossroads. I'm very curious to see. A lot of this is determined, whether they make the playoffs or not.
They're only a game out of 6th place, which is crazy.
Which is why
they've been.
Which
is wild,
that
right?
Are a game out of 6th place. There's 12 teams. That are a game
the Lakers, I think the Lakers are a game and a half out of 6.
Let's go, Lakers.
2.5,
dude.
2.5.
2.5.
There you go. Alex. There you go.
Just
well, it was 4. Wasn't it 4 though?
Yeah,
it was 4. Okay, so we'll get to the in a second.
I want to finish this with Dame because I thought his quote was the best. They better pray I don't win a championship for the Blazers. I thought that was amazing.
RJ, what does that mean? RJ, translate that for us.
Basically, that means that, and he feels some pressure because he has chirped and talked shit, right? Respectfully so. He's entitled to his opinion. Everyone loves Dame universally. He's a well-respected player, media around the league. He was chirping. Basically, I think when it was like Paul George and there were some other guys talking about in the bubble, a lot of talking shit. He's like, I'm not jumping ship, like blah, 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 saying like, I'm going to do this the hard way. Very similar to how Giannis, like, look, I did it the hard way. I got drafted. I did that. That's the legacy that Dame wants. So
let's
now,
not compare Giannis to Dame, okay? Like,
you
had Brooke Lopez, who's an all-star. You had Drew Holiday, who's an all-star. You have an Eastern Conference coach.
Is the ability to do it where you get drafted, right? To do it where you get drafted. Giannis talked about D Wade was like, he like posted about D Wade after he won a championship, the guys that did it the hard way. So that's what Dame is on. Dame is like, I want to do it the hard way. And so I think that for him to ask out, it would look very kind of like, oh, you changing your tune. Oh, you switching up now, blah, blah, blah. Now, if Portland were to trade him, that's a different story. But I don't think Portland is going to trade him. I'm saying Portland, like, unless he wanted out, like type thing. And I don't think he wants to ask out because he's chirped so much. Not too much.
As someone who lives in Portland, you've sat courtside in Portland, you've done some work with the Blazers, you have a different connection. Do you think that Portland should let him?
Okay, so I'm going to take it from like the organization's point of view. I'm going to say no. Now, here's why I say no. Damian Lillard is Jesus out here, okay? Everywhere he goes, everything he does, he walks on water, right? I know it's raining, but he would walk on water regardless. Okay, so for me, what he's about and what his brand is, it's hard to replace that with any one or two players. So for me, as an organization, I can't let that go. I think Portland is looking at this like Dallas looked at Dirk. We're going to ride this out, and if we're bad, we're bad. But, hey, we're paying you to be this guy. Whatever you need to do in the city, he gets everything for probably eats for free, drinks for free, moves however he wants to move. And then if we're bad, we're going to get young talent to build around you. So they tried with Jeremy Grant. They tried with Josh Hart. Anthony Simons, I think, is special. He's still learning how to play the complete way of the game. I think Nurk is 50-50. I think you can't be a good team in this NBA if you don't have a bouncy center who can switch. That's just my opinion. And I think they're tiny. They're a very tiny team. So very this summer, if they're looking at them, dude, they're so small. And they're like, hey, this summer, we're going to go find these type of guys. And Shams knows this. I got word of certain things. People were asking 4 and 5 first-round picks for some, I would say, mediocre players. Teams were demanding the most for some players that may or may not make you a championship team. So I know that the Blazers are like, we can't give up all this for that one guy. He's not going to move the needle. So I think they're going to wait till free agency and say, here are spots where we're going to bring in vets and maybe overpay the vets to be around Dame Lillard.